Hello and welcome to this review of Old Thompson blended whiskey. American whiskey, a blend, bottled by Glenmore Distilleries, Owensboro, Kentucky, and Bardstown, Kentucky. Glenmore is still operating today. I noticed, I was looking on the internet, they had a company that was showing a lot of photos how they helped them renovate a barrel house where they aged the whiskey. It was so dilapidated, but they said that they told them, well, we can fix it, we can repair it. So they did. It was very interesting. This apparently was introduced in 1904, and it was a Glenmore product. They may have produced a straight bourbon at one time, Old Thompson. I don't think they do anymore, but you never know with Sazerac, because Sazerac, okay, Barton Brands bought Glenmore, and then Sazerac bought Barton in 2009. But with Sazerac, you never know, because they have what they have, and then they have what they don't list, and you'll see it on the shelf. I bought this at Total Wine and More in Metairie, Louisiana. All right. And it says right there, we love to hear from our customers. www.sazerac.com, or you can, first they have the 1-866-729-3722 number. Very helpful. I've called them multiple times to track down different products they make, and they directed me to the exact store, and it was there. And in fact, they could tell me when the product first arrived at that particular store and when it was last sold there. All on the phone. Okay, the whiskeys in this finer tasting American blend were produced with extreme care by expertly skilled craftsmen before blending with finest quality neutral spirits. That's an old statement on here. I was looking at bottles from 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's pretty much the same design. They used to have a different bottle design for their buyouts, though. Much fancier bottle. And I'm trying to find a blend ratio. I do not see one. Oh, here we go. Sorry. 80% grain neutral spirits. So it's 20% straight whiskey of whatever sort. Mostly, more than likely bourbon, ancient age, something like that, and 80% grain spirits. Back in the 1940s, you look at the ads for Old Thompson, it was 86.6 proof. Nothing unusual there, because these products used to be stronger. And it was 65-35, okay? So it used to be 65% grain spirits and 35% straight whiskey. Why did they drop the ratio? Well, you know why. Because it's cheaper. They can't go below 20%, or it could not be sold as blended whiskey. It would have to be sold as spirit whiskey. Alright, so 20% straight whiskey and 80% grain spirits, or if you want to say unaged corn whiskey, ethanol, moonshine. But you can take moonshine, put it in a fancy bottle, or a mason jar, and people will pay $20 for it. Now, this bottle was, 1 liter. I thought it looked bigger. 1 liter bottle for $7.99. That's pretty cheap. Not the cheapest. I can get liquor cheaper around here, but still a pretty good deal. $7.99 for a liter. I got this 1,750 milliliter Canadian import for $5 on a closeout. Crazily priced. Okay. It's light. Very light tan. It's tan, but it's light. Is it colored? I don't think there's an age statement. Now you're saying you should have done your research, looked at their website. There's no website for this. All you can find on Sazerac is they say, we make a lot of other brands that we're not showing, but if you want to find out, you can call us. Yeah. Okay. So it's aged at least 4 years. Talking about the straight whiskeys. Then they blend it with unaged, raw, grain spirits. And but there you go. After 4 years, it might get this dark. But the clear grain spirits might lighten it so much that they might add caramel color. They're allowed to add caramel color, and they're allowed to add natural flavors like oak extract and stuff like that. But it doesn't say that on the bottle, and Sazerac's usually kind of conscientious about informing you of those things. Like if it's got flavoring added, it'll say what natural flavors added. This smells like a typical Sazerac blended whiskey, meaning a lot of... Oh, and you can buy uncut neutral grain spirits at Walmart. Diesel, or Mathern's, Diesel, which is from Sazerac, or Everclear from Luxco, 190 proof. It tells you right there on the website, this is not designed to drink. It's to construct your own liquor blends. The aroma is tamped down corn whiskey, okay? So you say, well, I know what bourbon smells like. Okay, so get the mindset of bourbon, but with much less aroma. Just, it's not really a different aroma than bourbon. It's just less of it. It's like, you say, watered down. Because you got the charred oak, right? But you're blending it with 80% unaged raw corn. It doesn't have to be corn spirits. Any kind of grain you can make grain neutral spirits from, okay? Any kind of grain. But corn is government subsidized in the United States. It's artificially cheap, so that's what they use. They could use wheat, they could use barley, they could use rice, they could use a combination of all of those. It doesn't matter as long as it's grain. They distill it to where it's clear, odorless, colorless, okay? And then they blend it with the whiskey, and that's the aged whiskey, and that's where the flavors come from. Now, if you in Ireland, they make Irish whiskey, but over there the law is the grain spirits. The grain, it might be 80% grain, but they don't have I don't think a ratio requirement. Well, let's say it's 90% grain spirits, fine, but they have to age it at least 3 years. Okay. So then it's not going to be neutral anymore. It's going to pick up some barrel flavor in all of these things. If you took these things and aged them with the whiskey for 3 years, then they wouldn't be neutral spirits anymore. Okay. It smells okay, but it's really not any different than the Ancient Age Preferred blended whiskey or Barton blended. It's basically the same type of thing with different labels. I'm not saying it's the same exact thing. Notice I said the same type of thing. So meaning shop price. It's got a little of that Heaven Hill type cantaloupe or honeydew melon taste. It's not too strong here. Mainly with these blended whiskeys, they're made for mixing highballs or cocktails, right? So they're not designed for this neat. But mainly what you're looking for is ones that aren't nasty. It'll either be okay or you get a small percentage that are just awful. Then you could just factor those out, right? Now if you say, well, I'm just looking for 80 proof whiskey to mix with RC Cola or Delaware Punch, I don't really care how it tastes because I'm going to wash it out anyway with the some people will mix it with tomato juice or orange juice or whatever they want to mix it with. Well, yeah, if you're going to do that, yeah, okay, pay $7.99, get a liter, and you're off to the races. Of course, around here I could get even cheaper for other things for a liter. $5.99 I saw. $5.99 for Clubhouse from Heaven Hill liter bottle. They add flavor into that, so it's a little stranger than this. Nutty flavor. It's nutty. The slightest bit of wood. Slightest bit of charred oak. Whole lot of corn. Think along the lines of cornbread. It's bland. I mean, this could appeal to people that maybe want Gentleman Jack because the Jack Daniel's too bold in the flavor. But all they're doing with that is they're taking Jack Daniel's and they're filtering a second time. Like the man at the distillery said, it's like taking a tea bag and using it a second time. You might get a similar, I've never had that one except for a little 1 ounce sample. You might do better just paying for this, but it's mild. It's not offensive. It's just not much happening. I want to put it in taste challenges with the other ones of its ilk, and there's not much happening with those. But then, like I said, you can get some treacherous ones like the Bellows Club whiskey. I don't know what they were thinking, and that was when Jim Beam owned it. I don't know what Beam Company was thinking when they made that club whiskey. That thing has got a bad black pepper spice to it, and I like black pepper on food, for instance, not necessarily that flavor in whiskey. Bizarre product. And Beam makes good blended whiskeys like Beam's 8-Star and Kessler. Kessler is a higher percentage of straight bourbon too. They might be the two best of the whole opportunity to buy those. You know, I'm talking about the whole United States. That might be the two best ones to get. Especially Kessler. I guess the best blended is Seagram's 7 Crown. It's 25% straight bourbon or a whiskey of some sort. It just has much richer flavor, and it doesn't have this strange cantaloupe or honeydew melon unusualness. But it also isn't $7.99 a liter. It's going to be more like $20 a liter for sure, at least $20. $18 to $20 a liter. You can get a handle for sometimes on sale at Walmart for $19.99. That's your best route with the 7 Crown. This one I would score. Thing about these, the more you drink them, like the less you enjoy them. I'm talking about just the whole category of them, American blended whiskeys. When I first started trying them 4 years ago, I thought, it was pretty interesting. Still, the nuttiness is okay. But I think, to be fair, I'll have to go with a 79 out of 100, a C+. Okay, so it's a C+. It's high average, but I wouldn't get excited about it. In fact, I wouldn't even recommend buying it because I don't recommend things that are below a B, and I don't really recommend things that are even in the B or B- category because there's so many B+ and A things you can buy for the same price. So it exists. That's all I'll say about it. You can buy it because it exists. Now, if I keep sipping on it, will my score go up? It's possible, but I would say unlikely. So thanks for watching this video production. I'm going to end this review by saying, y'all come on down to southeastern Louisiana.